Hey there, you bunch of fucking aliens. Are you ready to talk about the future of rock and roll?
Hell no! Fuck you!
Hell no! Fuck me! Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Dude, fuck you.
Fuck you!
Fuck you! Also, full disclaimer, I feel like it's a lot harder to make yourself bleed from the forehead than it should be. Or maybe I just have lost that raw fucking edge of my youth. Also, in addition to the future of rock and roll, there will be punk.
Fuck it! Oh, what?
Punk?
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Still, fuck you.
Well, alright then. And fuck you too. If you hadn't noticed, feelings and sensitivity are not exactly at the forefront of this particular video diatribe experience. This here rabbit bat video talking about none other than this particular rabbit bat this here rabbit vat. What the fuck is a rabbit vat? This here rabbit vat video review experience talking about none other than the legendary, the great Zachary Hembree and his latest project, Hembree and the Satan Sisters.
Ugliest goddamn bunch of sister wives I ever did see.
The project Hembree and the Satan Sisters started as like a solo venture. Zach birthed it into existence sometime in 2017, kind of as an outlet for him to explore more confrontational, unrepentant, and unapologetic aggressiveness in punk and rock and roll music. Something I guess he didn't feel he was completely getting in some of the other projects he was involved with, which include Toro and Music Hates You, and of course, Music Hates You.
Hembree and the Satan Sisters.
To represent the motherfucking... A lot of people are familiar with that band, especially a lot of people in the South.
I'm still doing though.
Fuck yeah! After coming up with the concept of Hembree and what Hembree was going to be, Zach wrote an album's worth of material, and then he started assembling a band of heavy hitters from the Athens and the Atlanta area. So, rounding out the band, of course, Zachary Hembree on vocals and performance art, really. Ash on guitar, Charlie on bass, and Parker on the skins. All of them are known from other area bands such as Guff and Burns Like Fire. Like, not all of them are in all those bands, but like they're in those bands in different combinations, much like what happens in Tucson with... Let's just not get into that. Let's not get into that. So, with the band assembled, now that Hembree and the Satan Sisters had all come together, they were ready to start dominating the local music scene. Live show, as for the live show, Hembree and the Satan Sisters shows are always real raucous. Raucous, I believe, is how you pronounce that word. Thank you, Google, for that information. Rowdy, high energy, high intensity, and in-your-face affairs. Mr. Zach Hembree is not afraid to mingle with the audience during the show. Let's just leave it at that. That's not to say that it's all aggression and it's anger and stuff like that. It's about having a good time just as much as anything else. Really, the only disclaimer that needs to be said about any of that is it's not for the faint-hearted, and it's not for the easily offended, in case you hadn't figured that out already.
No shit, dumbass. You already covered that. Please don't hurt me.
Now I'm going to cut away real quick to some awesome footage of the band in the live setting. This comes from a recording made and posted to YouTube by user the KT420. And in this, the band is it's a section of the song A Devil's Warning. So just to check out a little of what the show is all about. There you go. This devil's warning. Zach has said himself, and I quote, excuse me, "Love us or hate us, if you show up to one of our shows, you'll never forget it. I fucking assure you of that."
Full disclosure, baby. Me and Ryan and the rest of us just got out of a loony bin a few days ago. We're on some different meds, which may or may not have contributed to me not being able to talk like a fucking human on here.
Hembree and the Satan Sisters have been building a very rabid cult following throughout the last year or so.
Did you say rabbit? I'm starving here, man. I could go for some rabbit. Did you say rabbit?
Rabid, Hank. I said rabid. Hembree and the Satan Sisters have been building a rabid cult following through their unforgettable live sets, the sheer energy they bring to the table, and just, I mean, the tunes are just damn good, which you can hear parts of them in the background here. I'm privileged to hear an early edition of the album. You're not, so I don't know what to say about that. Sorry. Band's debut LP, which is entitled F.Y.F. Perhaps you can figure out what that means yourself. Anyways, the band's debut LP, most appropriately entitled Fuck Your Feelings, or F.Y.F., is set to drop on Friday, September 20th. Pre-orders are now up on Rusty Knuckles' website, on the web store. I want to say it's probably like rustyknuckles.com, but I mean, you can Google that shit like any other dickhead and you can find it yourself. You know, something about Friday, September 20th. Something else was happening Friday, September. Is that the day we're supposed to like bombard Area 51? Does that now have something to do with Hembree and the Satan Sisters and Area 51? Is that what's going on here? It's worth looking into, right? It's worth, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, been there. Food sucks.
So, I mean, there's already an insane, ridiculous cult following building around this entity, this force of nature that is Hembree and the Satan Sisters. There's a lot of anticipation for the new album. Ever since it was first announced, I've been stoked. I'm so fucking glad I got to hear an advanced copy of it. It's great. It's fucking phenomenal. More than what I could have asked for, which I'm just some dickhead, so I don't have the right to ask for anything. I've not praised it highly enough. It's hard-hitting, it's spot on, and it's what I was looking for. Who the fuck cares? Who's me? But hey, there you go. Now the album, I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. The album is a back-to-back banger. It has some variation, you know, in tone, variation in speed. There's one moment in particular I'm thinking of. They utilize a doo-wop intro that, like, you wouldn't imagine with everything that's come before it. Hearing all that, you would not imagine that you'd all of a sudden hear a doo-wop and make it work with this rowdy punk music slamming you in your face, slamming you in your head, you know what I'm saying? But it worked. It's beautiful. It was great. The album's 20 minutes long, front to back banger, all killer, no filler. Front to back, it is brilliant and awesome, and it leaves you wanting more, which I guess is what you want to look for from a band. Just some good old-fashioned punk and roll, motherfucker, yeah. Woo! F.Y.F. was recorded in July of 2018. It was mixed and mastered by Warren Riker, who's worked with bands like Crowbar and Down. It's going to be released on Rusty Knuckles, which is a primarily southern, you know, southeastern sort of label. They've done stuff with Buzz Oven in the past. They've done stuff with Anti-Scene in the past. It's a perfect home for a band like this. So, you know, right out of the gate, fuck your religion, fuck your politics, fuck internet keyboard warriors, fuck the so-called elite class, right? Fuck them all. Fuck your authority, fuck me, and fuck you too. I wonder if I should have put a disclaimer at the beginning of this. So it's largely punk-heavy, hardcore rock and roll. But that's not all it is. Not to say that it's just one thing. I mean, like, in between the killer riffs and
the amazing face-melting old school hardcore punk solos. You can find stuff like dips into melodic punk rock. There's some gang vocal sing-alongs. There is some heavy hardcore. I think I mentioned that doo-wop intro earlier. There's something for everybody on this album, and it's fucking great, and I think you should check it out. I don't know if I've said fuck enough. Some standout tracks for me include the opener, Fuck Your Religion and Fuck Your Politics. I really enjoy Dancing at Your Suicide. And then I also like Who's Laughing Now, which has a music video, and we're gonna have a link to that in the comments.
Now, the band puts together their influences in a way that makes them completely and unabashedly themselves, I think. You listen to them right at the start, and you know it's something different. Like, you know it's something you haven't heard before, or if you have heard, you know it's Hembree and the Satan Sisters. That doesn't mean that you can't dig for influences here and there. I hear a decent amalgam of influences reinterpreted to be made into something different, and those include, I mean, Anti-Scene, especially with Jeff Clayton guesting on the album. That influence seems obvious to me. There's also, of course, the Misfits, a heavy Misfits vibe going on. And in this clip I'm about to show you of the live show, you can't help but be reminded of G.G. Allin. So all of those come together in certain ways, and more stuff that I probably don't even know, more stuff that I probably couldn't identify come together to make up the whole that is Hembree and the Satan Sisters.
I mean, I want to say something snarky and negative, but this shit really does kick ass. Fuck yeah. Woo!
Performance was another clip taken from YouTube user DKT420, who appears to have gone to a fair amount of Hembree and the Satan Sisters bands. Also, I think I may have given myself slight brain damage.
Hank, you lazy bitch, why don't you tell the people, make yourself useful, fucker, and tell the people about some upcoming Hembree and the Satan Sisters shows? Yeah! You mean I gotta work? Hembree and the Satan Sisters will be playing the Slaughter Q, which is apparently a festival, on September 21st at the Masquerade in Atlanta, with the likes of Exodus, Cataclysm, and X-Horder. The band will be celebrating their record release party. Congratulations! October 5th, records out September 20th, parties on October 5th at the Caledonia Lounge in Athens, and if you make fun of my pronunciation, I'm not from there, goddammit, I don't give a shit. Anyways, playing that show besides Hembree and the Satan Sisters with Casket Creatures, Donkey Punch, Taped Fist, and Die 985.
As for the album itself and colors and whatnot, many people that's important to. The first 100 pre-orders on Rusty Knuckles are on translucent green, and then an undetermined amount are going to be released on Coke Bottle, Clear, and Black. I don't know if that's Coke Bottle Clear or Coke Bottle Clear and Black. You're about to find out though. Get on it. Get with it. I'm gonna get out it.
I think that about covers it. Some shows coming up, including the release show after the fact. The album, of course, dropping on Friday, September 20th. You can follow Hembree on Facebook, and you'll be exposed through Facebook to groups and other pages devoted to the rabid Hembree and the Satan Sisters following. Zach, of course, spends part of his time at the Shade Beast heavy metal record shop of fucking doom in Athens, Georgia. So once the album is out, that you're almost definitely going to be able to get copies through there. Until then, the pre-sale is up on Rusty Knuckles' website, web store. Google that shit. That's how you do it. That's about it. Check out Shade Beast TV for some scene reports, some reviews, some interviews from Morbid Couch inside the Shade Beast store. Check out Ryan and Hank the Wvrm shenanigans
For more stupid, dumb ridiculousness, check out wearetherion.wordpress.com. And of course, follow Hembree and the Satan Sisters on Facebook. Find them on Instagram probably. I bet they're on Twitter. Fucking Hembree, world domination is at hand. And you need to be ready when this album drops, because after that, the next stage is on, and there's no waiting, man. There's no fucking waiting, man. Whoa!